Share it with me if you want, Henry. There we are. Come on. I didn't want you to hang around.
I guess he must have thought he was getting smaller than he is. We do have an extra chair, sir, if you'd like me to go and try to find one.
If you've got it.
Okay, let me take it.
Right, we'll go. Stay with me, darling. Stay with me. You are so kind.
How's that?
Very much indeed.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 47th Area Support Group Change of Command Ceremony between outgoing Commander Brigadier General James E. Bickford and incoming Commander Colonel James G. Kalangis. Units participating in the Change of Command Ceremony are the Cheshire Constabulary Band, directed by Inspector Brian Jones, Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 47th Area Support Group, commanded by Lieutenant Ross Tazi, the United Kingdom Signal Detachment, 39th Signal Battalion, commanded by Captain David B. Elliott, and the 582nd Military Intelligence Detachment, commanded by Captain Dennis R. Dinas. The history of the 47th Area Support Group dates back to May 1936, when it was constituted in the regular Army as Headquarters and Headquarters Detachment, 47th Quartermaster Regiment. In August 1942, it was activated at Fort Ord, California, as the Headquarters and Headquarters Detachment, 47th Quartermaster Truck Regiment. In November 1943, it was reorganized and redesignated as Headquarters and Headquarters Detachment, 47th Quartermaster Group, and in February 1946 was inactivated. After redesignation as Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 47th Direct Support Group, the group was activated in August 1967 at Fort George G. Meade, Maryland. Another redesignation in March 1968 changed the name to Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 47th General Support Group. The unit was once again inactivated 2 years later at Fort Meade. In September of 1982, the organization was redesignated as Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 47th Area Support Group, and activated here in England. The 47th campaign participation credits include World War II action at Normandy, Northern France, and Central Europe.
We're going inside afterwards, so if you want one of any murder or anything, we'll go inside, everybody. And the murderers just take watch and stand silently.
Members of the reviewing party for today's ceremony are Lieutenant General John D. Bruin, Commanding General, 21st Support Command, Brigadier General James E. Bickford, and Colonel James G. Calanges. Please rise for the rendering of honors. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Is that the command? Please rise for the playing of honors to Great Britain and the United States of America. Please be seated. The Legion of Merit is awarded to Colonel James E. Bickford, Quartermaster Corps, United States Army, for exceptionally meritorious service while serving as Commander, 47th Area Support Group, 21st Support Command, United States Army Europe, from August 1984 to May 1986. Colonel Bickford planned and executed the reorganization of Reserve Storage Activity Burtonwood, consolidated the Directorate of Services and the Directorate of Materiel, significantly improving overall logistics and material management support, and developed a property services agency team dedicated to facilities maintenance at Royal Air Force Burtonwood. His efforts in increasing security significantly improved the physical security of Department of the Army, government, property, and personnel. In addition, through his initiative, an Air Force commissary was opened at RAF Burtonwood. Colonel Bickford's outstanding performance of duty reflects great credit upon him and the United States Army. Given under my hand in the city of Washington this 28th day of May, 1986, signed, John O. Marsh, Jr., Secretary of the Army. By authority of subparagraph 3-1A Army Regulation 600-20, the undersigned assumes command of the 47th Area Support Group effective 29 May 1986. Signed, James G. Kalangis, Colonel, Quartermaster Corps, Commanding. Remarks will now be made by Lieutenant General Bruin, Brigadier General Bickford, and Colonel Kalangis.
Air Vice Marshal Whitaker, Mr. Mayor, Madam Mayoress, distinguished guests, friends, and members of the 47th Area Support Group. Thank you for joining us today in this change of command ceremony. We are all participating in some history today. For a change of command is but a pause in the history of any organization. An important pause, for it determines a time when we can see where we are now and where we are going and what has been accomplished. Our NATO mission is to declare war, but if war comes, we must fight to win. Now there are a few who prefer peace at any price, including the loss of freedom. They like to claim that there are two sides to every story, and I remind them when I can that there are also two sides to a roll of flypaper, one sticky and the other plain. So it is very important to the fly which side he chooses to land upon. A military command is a difficult job, but it's exciting and exhilarating, and there certainly are many challenges that the commander takes on. And I do have a soft spot in my heart for commanders, for I've had the opportunity to command for over 50% of my commissioned career. It requires attention to detail, and it requires 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It makes demands. It calls for individual strength and self-discipline. But there is no better job in the Army. General Bickford has been a sterling example of these attributes, as well as his selflessness in bringing this command up to the position where it is today. Ironically, in our Army, when you finally master a tough job and you make it begin to look easy, you move on. Some even get promoted to general and go on to command again, as Jim is going to do. Our Army missions here have seen many accomplishments. War base hospitals, the improvements in ammunition storage and renovation, the efficiency improvements in our Project SMART ideas, working relationships with the UK land forces, all have been done well, including the community relations, which I see as the best ever, at least since I've been associated with Burtonwood since 1976. So my thanks are to Jim for all the good things that he's been able to accomplish. But Jim is only half the team, because surely we must thank Shirley Bickford for all the things that she has done, the outstanding support to the command and the community, a team player, a mother, and a confidant to Jim. So thank you, Shirley, for all that you have done. There is an old saying which goes something like this: you can tell when you're on the right track because usually it's uphill. The most important thing to remember in command is to keep on climbing. Jim will assume command of the 200th Theater Army Material Management Center in Zweibrücken, Germany, on the 2nd of June, next Monday, which is a position of increased authority and responsibility, and it shows what our Army thinks of him by selecting him to be the commander of that large organization. Leadership makes the difference between a good commander and a great commander. And Jim, you have been and will continue to be a great commander. We'd like to welcome Colonel Jim Calanges. He has a big pair of shoes to fill. Jim, I would remind you that empty bottles make the most noise. So commanders are expected to put something into the bottle. And we know you'll do that in your tour as the commander here at the 47th Area Support Group. Welcome. I would like to add a special thanks to the band and to the civilian and military members of the 47th Area Support Group. We do deeply appreciate all the work that you do. Thank you, and God bless you all. General Burlin, Air Vice Marshal Whitaker, Mr. Mayor, Madam Mayoress, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and a whole lot of friends. I'm somewhat at a loss for words today and a little bit confused. I still think people are talking to someone else when they say General Bickford. Secondly, I'm no longer the commander of the 47th Area Support Group, which has been so much a part of my life for almost 2 years. However, there are a few things about which I'm not confused. The first is that I'm proud to have served under the strong leadership of Lieutenant General Burton. He supported and guided the 21st SUBCOM through some very difficult times, and everyone who's worked for him will agree that he gets the right things done. And contrary to what he says, he's anything but a simple soldier. Secondly, I appreciate the professionalism of the officers, NCOs, U.S. civilians, the men and women of the 47th ASG and community. I mean this sincerely. Your hard work and professional attitude has made this unit a better place in which to work, and that you can be proud of. I'm certainly proud to have served with you. Third, to the British civilian workforce. Some of you have heard me say this before, and for those who have not, I want to repeat it. You are the best and most professional workforce I've worked with in 27 years of service. No matter how difficult the task, no matter how short the time frame, you always made it happen, just like it was no problem at all. Your innovations and suggestions have also greatly improved our effectiveness. It makes me feel very proud to have been privileged to work with such a fine group of people. Lastly, I want to express my appreciation to the ladies of the community. No one could have ever wished for a more caring, helpful, and dedicated group. You've helped make this community run smoothly. Your volunteer work, fundraising, hard work in preparing all the food for the such things as the New Year's reception, this change of command is most appreciated. All of you are very special people, and my wife and I thank you very much. Shirley and I have enjoyed the best tour of our career here at Burtonwood. All of you, especially the wonderful British friends that we've made here, have made us feel at home in your country. We'll never forget your kindness. We're looking forward to the new command in Germany, but we surely will miss you all. God bless, and thank you.
General Bruin, Air Vice Marshal Wicker, Mr. Mayor, Madam Mayoress, distinguished guests, employees of the depot, fellow soldiers, and friends of the 47th Area Support Group. I'm going to make this talk short. I'm both proud and humbled to be assuming command today. Proud that the United States Army selected me for command, and humbled to be serving in a position held by so many fine officers in the past in a country whose ties to the United States are deep and strong. I want to thank General Bruin for his special trust in allowing me to be part of this combat-ready 21st Support Command, and my thanks to General Bickford and his charming wife for their help prior to my assumption of command. A special thanks to all those in the community who have made my transition a smooth and enjoyable one. I'm delighted to be serving in this beautiful country with its proud past and rich culture. I look forward to learning more about your history and seeing this land, knowing that I will be better for it. I look forward to meeting and working with you all in the weeks and months ahead. With your help and continued hard work, I'm confident the 47th Area Support Group will continue to perform its mission with distinction. I make few promises, but this I promise you, I will do my very best for you, this command, and our community. In closing, I wish General and Mrs. Bickford God's blessing in their new assignment. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the Army Song. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. You are requested to remain until the reviewing party has departed the area. Invited guests will proceed to door 7 and into the community lodge for the receiving line and reception.
Nice to meet you. That's my character. Just to meet you.
Yes, again, I'm sure. You know, but I thank you very much. I'm
They're all right. More or less, take photographs out while they can all go up. Me too. Me too.
Thank you.
Go on,